It's the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast.
Hello and welcome to this week's Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast with my amazing hosts of Michael and Malcolm. And we're going to get hit by an asteroid in 2032, so we thought we'd talk about the film Armageddon, which Malcolm has chosen. It's a personal favourite of mine as well. And I have to say it was far better than Deep Impact.
Oh, God. Do you know what? I didn't know which one was which because they came out at a similar time. And obviously we're going to focus on say. And I remember one being really, really boring, and it featured Denise Crosby's in it as like a mum or something, and she's and I remember that was the shit one, and I couldn't remember which was the good one, and this is the good one.
No, it was Tia Leone.
Yeah, but Denise Crosby was in a small role, but she was in Deep Impact.
Deep Impact.
Because I remember going to the cinema.
Chance.
It was boring. It was the most boring film I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It was shite. And this was good. But before we go into the focus of the week, we've got a bit of discussion. We haven't been around properly together for a while. Doctor Who, sci-fi news, everything's starting to come along now. So shall we quickly talk about the first episode of season 15? I'm not saying season 2. It's series 15 of Doctor Who with Ncuti and Belinda, this new character. What did you guys think of it?
At 17:36, bang on, which I did send to both of you. He started crying. 17:36. Remember that? 17:36.
I thought of everybody on YouTube that I follow, and they're sick and tired of the guy. Stop fucking crying. And he did.
There's so many people that kind of justified it and said, like, oh, but you know, he's a friend of his. He's been with for 6 months. He's just. But we've seen him with people longer than that. That he's lost. Adric, he didn't fucking shed a tear.
You shared that.
Died.
You shared that. You know? Malcolm shared that.
And do you remember when he dumped Tegan and he just fucked off?
Malcolm
do you remember when he just cleared off?
Malcolm shared a Peter Davison clip today about this great sort of like thing with the cyber leader and saying about how humans are great and life is good, and you said how much you loved that clip and how the audio. And you can imagine them doing something like that in New Who? No. It was shit.
It's not, I mean, he doesn't even properly cry. He just stands there with a single tear.
Yeah, which they probably put a bit of, they probably put like a bit of something in his eye to make it water. And he doesn't even show, he just literally has a sort of like sad mouth over going, and then the tear comes out. Oh, it's shit. Oh my God.
And what about Bradley Walsh's character that said, I've got cancer, and she just throws him out?
Yeah.
Remember that? Do you remember
I forgot about that. Yeah.
He said, Doc, I've got cancer. And she was like, yes, like denied it. Like, well, it's not my problem. Go away.
Yeah. If you were an emotional man, there's no way you wouldn't have shed a tear when Sarah Jane fucking came back, when you bumped into her, and there's no way you wouldn't have shed a tear then either. But now, I don't know, someone sneezes and he bursts into tears. It's very weird.
I will say 17:36, remember that.
Yeah.
This week, it'll be 10 minutes into it, I reckon.
You should do a stopwatch.
I did on Saturday. I sat there at 5:30.
Oh, so you're at 17 minutes 36 seconds is when it happened, right?
No, 17 minutes 36 seconds. Dead.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Right. Okay.
I paused it on the iPlayer.
Of course. That's. I thought you over there with a physical stopwatch. Yeah. You just look at the time on the iPlayer.
But other than that, the episode was. I mean, it's just flat and boring. I honestly, I'm at the point where I don't understand how anybody enjoys it. People keep coming onto Facebook going, "Oh, you're I don't know, you're joking. It's one of them. It's wonderful. It's brilliantly written. How? I've asked that question so many times. I can tell you exactly why I don't like it. Yeah, I can tell you why I don't like it. It's got nothing to do with the man's skin color or his sexuality. I just don't like it because it's boring. It's just not interesting. There's no danger to it. There's nothing. I'm not on the edge of my seat. I'm not worried. I'm not hiding behind the sofa. But you ask people what they like about it, and they can't answer. They just go, "It's brilliant. It's brilliant." If you can't see that, you're not a fan. It's
not.
just nonsense.
I
It's
watched
nonsense.
I watched the first episode of Black Mirror season 7, which I know, Malcolm, you've not seen Black Mirror yet. And it was with Chris O'Dowd from the IT Crowd, and it was such a clever concept. And I thought to myself, I can't say because it's spoilers, but it's a very, very clever idea about a wife who gets brain damage, and there's a way that they can keep her sort of alive, and it's involving IT and Wi-Fi and all sorts of stuff. And I just thought, whoever wrote this, if they could get some decent writers on, I know it's a different sort of slightly different genre, but it's still intelligent sci-fi writing. And Doctor Who, if they had just one episode with the writing quality of what I've seen from Black Mirror, it would be a success. And it is just, this episode was completely repetitious. We've seen the robots and the emoji faces before. We've seen the character where she well, first of all, we had one before where the companion Martha was also working in a hospital, and that was a parallel. We've had similar stories where a companion can't get back home. Tegan was a prime example. She couldn't get back to 1981 for years, and I just thought, and I don't know about the new character. I know the actress is in Rogue One, not Rogue One, Andor as well. She was didn't particularly stand out. I'm not going to sort of like rate her too early because it's only been episode 1. I didn't dislike her, but I still think that Ncuti Gatwa was miscast and badly written for Doctor Who. I've always thought that, and I just don't think that it's any good. I just think that it's nothing. It's people. Even my family, my daughter always used to watch Doctor Who, and I said, "Oh, it's coming out." She didn't even say, "Oh no." She's like, "Oh, maybe," and like this would be. She's been watching it. She was born a year after New Who started, so she watched it entire life. And now, like, some people are like, "Oh no, my son doesn't watch it either." But nobody watches it. Nobody likes it. Just bin it. The lowest ratings ever in history, in the UK first broadcast history, overnights, 2 million, and that's a series premiere. So it's only going to get lower, I would have thought. But
It's also quite funny watching people try to justify the ratings. Oh, viewing habits and streaming, and all that. No one's watching it. Just fucking give it up. No one's fucking watching it.
I looked on my phone. I saw the comments on Facebook. A lot of people thought it were brilliant, and I was sat there thinking,
"No, I didn't loathe it.
Why? They can't answer.
It was terrible. There were no start. There were nothing new. It just."
Yeah, but
an opening episode, this should have defined the series.
Yeah.
Opening it up to something like
to really make you excited.
Yes,
really excited. Yes, I agree with it.
We got nothing. No. We got absolutely nothing. 17:36. Sorry, but he started crying, right? No, he did. And then we got stupid robots with like my emoji faces.
Yeah, which we had before.
And he was on this planet for 6 months because it's not the TARDIS.
What about the robot that kept saying polish all the time?
And then we got to the villain, and it
looked like a Borg. It looked like a Borg.
Oh, the villain you see coming a mile away.
Yeah. Yeah, the dorky boyfriend or whatever it was.
It didn't make any sense when they signed the 2-star chart.
What about that cancels out the certificate? If you touch the certificate in the past, have they ever had that before where it cancels each other out? If you make...
Of course they have. They had the 2 different brigadiers touch each other.
Oh yeah. No, that's fair. Okay, yeah. I was trying to think of another example. Yeah, the 2 brigadiers in I know the Peter Davison episode.
Yeah, Mordred Undead. That didn't go kaboom. I mean, all right, he suffered a blackout and it managed to kill the alien people in it. But there was no big threat to the fucking universe in that the Doctor had to fucking undo.
So what do you think is going to get ratings-wise next week? It's the one where they go to the 1950s.
It'll be lower than this.
Do you think it'll be lower?
I think enough people will have said, "Oh, this is an improvement on last season," that more people will tune in. So I think it will go up slightly.
Okay.
I think for an opening episode, this should have been something. I could have seen this episode 4 episodes in.
Yeah, not like season premiere. Yeah,
not as a season premiere. For the season after disaster at last series, I would have thought there'd have been, I don't know, something a lot better. Something, but we
reminded me there. I saw the funniest comment on Facebook today. It was either Facebook or YouTube. where someone was going on about it being good, and some guy just come over. Oh, what? Why? Because he's now been given a toxic companion. And I thought, toxic? What? She got the ump that he's fucking snatched her away from wherever and fucking done her DNA without asking. That's now toxic to complain about that. That's fucking toxic.
Oh.
Come on, fucking. That's like you might as well say Tegan was fucking toxic because she
Yeah.
didn't want to be there, or Barbara and fucking Ian. I mean, he kidnapped them way back in the very first fucking episode because he was a bit of a wanker back then.
He was a bit of a wanker, yeah. That's
Oh,
why
and
we
then
liked
you
him.
got her, didn't you? You got her towards and going, don't tell anybody you've seen me talking to the fourth wall.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
like,
Anita
go
Dobson.
away.
Anita Dobson. That character's really irritated me because I couldn't give a shit who she is anyway. And
No,
you know,
no.
it's really,
You know, it's
really.
going to be whoever it is going to be the biggest wet fart since fucking Sutek. So
Yeah, I reckon it's going to be the Rani for some reason. I don't know why, but maybe that's too obvious. I don't know. Somebody
I hope
says
not, because it would be a horrible thing to do to fucking Kate O'Mara's legacy.
yeah, but we've only ever had one incarnation of the Rani. I don't know. I don't trust Russell T Davies at all. You know, he just doesn't seem to. He just seems to.
Well, he had an article the other day. I didn't read it. I saw the title. He's on about going to season 3, 4, and 5.
No.
That's no. And I saw it on Facebook with an article.
I know there's a lot of
I didn't read
YouTubers
it.
out there that are going on about it fucking failing and Disney's pulling out, but I think this is absolutely one of those things where you just have to wait and see. I don't
Yeah,
think
I
you'll
agree.
notice how all these guys who claim to know and claim to have inside people,
Yes.
they never go back and say they were wrong when they were wrong. It reminded me, I was thinking earlier today, it reminded me Nostradamus. Everybody went on bangs on about Nostradamus predicting stuff, and by the time you've got fucking hairs on your dick, you realise that Nostradamus didn't predict fuck all. He just kept reaming out shit, and every
So
now and
some
again,
of it has
he
got some
something a little bit
similarity.
right on
Yes.
something, and that's all these fucking YouTubers do.
Yeah.
You know, there's no stock in anything any of them say. Oh, my inside man, your inside man is fucking nothing, mate. All you want is the likes, shares, and fucking ad revenue.
I think the interesting
Idiots.
thing about this season, though, is that they've left it open ended, and from what everybody said, that they've filmed a regeneration scene and not have a new guy or new girl taking over at the end of it.
Yeah, that's just people making stuff up. Nobody knows for definite if they've done that. That's just speculation.
So do you think
wishful
that?
thinking.
Yeah, I don't
What,
know.
that they filmed it? No. Unless Chuti Gatwa has definitely 100% left. I did read one thing that says he's doing a
Play.
he's doing some
a play.
stage show
Yeah,
for
he's doing
a while.
play or
So
something.
he's basically, if they are going to film season 3, they've literally fucking blanked him out for this year or next year, one of the two. He won't have enough time to film it, which means
But
he's going to have
also,
to fucking wait a bit anyway.
Also, they haven't got enough time to. Well, they could possibly film a Christmas special for this year because it's still only April. But I've got the feeling that there's going to be at least a year's gap. I would have thought, no matter what happens.
Much like they did with Tennant, when for 3 years running, all we got was a fucking Christmas special.
Yeah, they've done these gaps before. So anyway, that's pretty much it for Doctor Who. I would give the opening episode, I don't know, 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10. And that's being fair. How about you two?
Right.
I think 4 out of 10 is fair, purely because it wasn't as bad as the last season.
Well, Space Babies.
And I think the companion has. I quite like the idea of a companion who's pissed off with him and not some doe-eyed fucking lovesick puppy.
And also meeting their
running around
family
his
as
arse
well.
all the time.
Also not meeting. Normally they have the families involved with New Who.
I don't want to meet.
I don't want to meet the mum and the dad and the brother.
The only thing I don't like is this nonsense about, oh, I've met your fucking descendant 3,000 years from now. That's 100 fucking generations. So that is 100 times her DNA has been halved and mixed with someone else's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They've done it before.
In 100 generations, your family tree, in terms of, so if you imagine 2 grandparents, 4 great grandparents, 8 great grandparents, 6, you go back 100 generations, your own fucking family tree is greater than the population of the fucking planet at that time. Right? So the idea that somebody 3,000 years from now will look fucking anything like her is bullshit. It's
well,
the
what I
stupidest fucking
heard,
thing that guy's come out with.
What I heard was that Rusty Davis really liked her in her first episode, and so they hired her to be the next companion. And then they've just come up with some bullshit. They have done it before, though. We did it with Clara's boyfriend. We saw a descendant of him at some point in the future. I know that it
Why
is a
not? Why
daft
not
thing.
just use the same fucking actor? Why do you have to tie it together? Why not just we use the same actor, the same? Nobody's ever gone back and fucking tried to justify Colin Baker being a fucking security guard on Gallifrey, and the Doctor. Oh, I chose his face because he fucking shot
Well,
me once.
they did that with
Fucking,
Peter Capaldi.
no one ever bothered with that bollocks, did they?
Yeah.
But why do
they
you need to
didn't
go
do
back?
it
They
with
just
Paul.
use the same actor. Get the fuck over it.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why
It's
they're doing that.
madness.
I mean, the problem is now because the set from EastEnders up in last series as this weird neighbour that knows more than it's what's going to be the payoff at the end of this series. What is the big that carried on in the last series? I mean, how many episodes have we got? 8 this year.
It's only 8, yeah.
So what's going to be the big payoff in 8 weeks' time? Because they've got to give us from the last season.
Well, they had that last scene where we saw in space, like the Statue of Liberty and the Eiffel Tower floating in space.
Yeah. So this is obviously
And-
connected.
So we got the planet that's destroyed or something because of whatever they fucking did.
This is connected to the final episode. We've had our first inkling of it, and he's got to prevent it. So what is going to be the payoff? And she's involved. And if it is cancelled, the answer has to be at the end of this season.
Yeah. I mean,
and that's why we'll be watching.
Yeah.
So
I mean, do you both think that Ncuti will be back for the 3rd season, or do you these are rumours that he's had I've already mentioned?
I don't know. I don't really care anymore.
I think it all really depends on what he's offered in LA. If he's offered like a big movie role or a big TV role out there,
There's going to be a lot more money out there for him, probably. And
then I think he'll go.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah,
I don't think he's going to turn down something big to carry on doing this. When
I did read.
Is so bad.
I did hear that on his Twitter profile, when he's put what he's been in, he did have 15th Doctor, which he's now removed. So some people are saying that perhaps he wants to just move on and just forget it, kind of thing, and see it as a bad, as a wrong choice.
He has been popping up in films and TV programs in America.
Yeah, I mean, such a shame because he is. I've said before, he is a really good actor, and he does deserve a better career. To be fair,
yeah, but I don't think it's worked out.
This was a misstep.
Yeah,
this was a misstep.
It was just. I just think it was quite obvious when they would have cast him. I just think that Rusty Davies just like, oh, is he lovely? Oh, yes, he's going to make the perfect 15th Doctor. And sorry, don't know why I just did it very campy, but I just don't think it's happened, and I think it's a shame. So I just want it to change now. I just want it to be gone, quite frankly.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not one of these who says, "Oh, I want it to stop for 10 fucking years." I don't understand the point.
Yeah, you had a conversation about this, right?
Yeah.
You're saying like
what stopping it for 10 years is going to bring to the table? Nothing.
Yeah,
Just get a different showrunner and redo it.
But when it came back after 89 to 90, obviously the 96, but that was just a one-off. It was better for the gap. I think it was.
Had nothing. The Gap had fuck all to do with it. If that episode Rose had been shown in 1990, it would have been exactly the same reception. Exactly the same. That Gap is not why we got Rose.
I think we got that answered. That answer, didn't we? When we got the one in the middle of the time when we got McGann, that flopped, didn't it? They didn't bestow it.
Well, that's because they tried to Americanize it, didn't they? They tried to
Yeah.
So you both think that a gap of say 5-10 years would?
I think it needs. It either needs a lot of restructuring, getting and changing a lot of things, and getting off the path it's on, because it's not working. The story's fucking space babies.
All it needs to be is it just needs to go with a different showrunner who's more interested in just telling great stories, and then getting writers who tell great stories. You do not need a gap or a hiatus to do that. You just need to get rid of that fucking arse. That's all you have to do.
I mean, last series we built some of the most iconic Who villains, and look what they did to it. They completely sunk it, didn't they?
Yeah.
And now we're on this other new storyline, and there'll be some classic villain on the way back, and they're going to mess it up. Look, I'm not a negative person. There could be hope. Maybe this season could get better. I could be. I mean, we don't know, do we? And like,
I am
I
not
agree with
holding out much
Malcolm.
hope for fucking the Eurovision Song Contest.
Yeah,
episode,
well,
I've got
yeah,
to be
yeah.
honest.
I do agree with you. You are right, but there's that slight inkling that something could come out of this. I can't say it. I hope it does. But
So basically, what we're thinking is basically if to save it, get rid of Rusty Davis, get rid of all those people. Remember, Eccleston did that a while ago. He gave this rant about sack Rusty Davis, sack Julie Gardner, and I'll be back. And yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair point. I mean, I have thought that a gap would do it good, but I just can't see them getting rid of Rusty Davis, getting new writers, getting rid of this woke shit, and actually creating some good, interesting science fiction stories.
Okay, so put it this way: let's just say we stop for 10 years, and in 10 years' time, Russell T Davies brings out the next series. You think he would be any different than he is now?
No, I don't.
No, exactly. So you're saying that in 10 years' time, you'd need a new show.
Yeah,
So
no,
let's
okay.
just bring
No,
that
that's a
showrunner
fair-
in now.
no, I think that's fair what you're
give it
saying.
to the writers of Black Mirror. Let Black Mirror take it over.
Well, yeah, seeing some of the stuff that they've written, I mean, it's just absolutely fantastic. I can see
I've
so many
just
great
finished
storylines.
watching the season, and
So I've only seen the first episode of season 7. It's fantastic.
have you not seen McAllister yet?
No, that's the last one. I can't wait to see that one.
Okay.
That's going to be great. I'm going to rewatch the first one because I've not seen that for a while. But I mean, without giving spoilers, I know that the writing on Black Mirror is just so good and well written.
Talent's there.
Science fiction can still be done. So why can't
the talent's there?
Why can't they get the talent on Doctor Who then? Why can they not get
I don't know.
writers?
I
Get
don't
these
know.
eccentric
I don't know.
writers who are not even science fiction writers. Let's
I
hire him
wa-
because he's trans. Let's
I
hire him
watched
because he's
Black
got
Mirror.
lipstick on.
I watched Black Mirror over the weekend, and it was superb writing.
It's so good.
Superb writing, all of it.
I mean, so it can be done in contemporary. It doesn't have to tick boxes. It just gives good, creative, thoughtful ideas, which is what we are here in science fiction. What we love. You do not get that in Doctor Who. You don't get stupid. What's it called? What's the thing that the robot said? He said, "Wipe it, whatever it was." And it's just polish. That's it. And like
Lifted straight from Wally.
yeah, we had Gadget before.
To be fair, if you put the film down with a pen and paper, you could literally write down every single thing that Russell T Davies has stolen from his own back catalogue, Doctor Who, and other things, and then mash them all together.
I thought that Polish was going to be a new companion like K9. I could see that being on the TARDIS every episode, coming out of the TARDIS, going polish and dry. Oh, the kids will like that. They'll get the toy or whatever. And it's all right. I think it's pretty much covered Doctor Who. I mean, what we'll do is I think we'll have a break and then we'll come back for the film review because otherwise we're going to have about 7 minutes. But so until then, if that's okay, with both of you, if you've both got the time, have you both got the time, or how are you time wise? We can rush it. What do we got?
Yeah, no, I can come back.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's because I've got about 10 minutes. So what we'll do is we'll wrap this up in a minute and then we'll come back with part 2. So before we quickly do that, any other science fiction news or anything that you're both? Obviously, we talked about Black Mirror. Go on, Malcolm.
No, I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking of the trailers that I've seen recently. Obviously,
Tron. You weren't that.
really
I like the Tron.
Tron. No, I mean, so Tron's going to be in the modern world now.
I'm quite looking forward to it myself.
I can't wait for Tron.
I think it looks really quite good. But
I think the technology and everything's so caught up with this film now, and 9 Inch Nails doing the music. I think we could be onto a masterpiece.
Yeah.
I tell you one trailer. I don't know if I sent it to you. One trailer I did see that looks fucking epic. Is we know that Disney's live action remakes of all their classic backlog have been mostly shit. But whoever did Lilo and Stitch clearly loved the original film because the trailer looks amazing.
I've not seen the original. Yeah, I don't know
Lilo
that
and Stitch is a great film, but the trailer for the new live action one looked brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
So you're not going to watch Snow White then after the reception that film's had? It's not done too well, is it?
No, I mean, to be fair,
I won't be watching
without
Wicked either.
If it was having epic reviews, I wouldn't go and see it because I don't think the original story was that good. You know?
I'll tell you what I watched for the first time over the weekend. Swamp Thing. I've never seen it before. The original one with
the original from the 80s. So I kind of remember that one. I think I said it to you that the the Lionel Luthor character from Smallville very much reminded me of the villain from that. I mean, I haven't watched it for years. It used to be on Bravo instead. But the modern Swamp Things, I've watched the first
I'm gonna
3 or
watch
4
that.
episodes of that. That's
I'm gonna
quite
watch
good.
The series is
I don't know why I didn't
hilarious.
carry on with it, to be honest.
The series is hilarious.
It's because it was made in 2019, so it's quite new, and I thought I'd give that a watch. I like the original movie. It was weird that the boss in the end he turns into like a dog thing, and it was like he got it a bit wrong, but it was I did quite like it. I thought it was a bit odd, but it was.
Well, that's it. There's a trailer for a new Toxic Avenger film.
Oh
where
yeah,
Peter Dinklage plays the Toxic Avenger.
Okay.
In it, so that's an interesting casting choice. He's a great actor. He's brilliant as Tyrion. So
I love Toxic
see how it goes.
Not seen that.
I don't know much of it. I've heard of it, but I don't know much of it.
No, I'm not seen that one. All right, guys.
Thunderbolts next week, and
Thunderbolts. What's that?
Yeah, definitely. I might cinema that one. I'm looking forward to that.
The test reviews have gone down well, apparently. The test reviews.
Yeah.
But
so I mean, what have you got on there? You've got a new Black Widow, obviously, but then you've got the Red Guardian, who is a super soldier serum like Captain America.
From Russia.
Then you've got what's his name, Bucky, who's a super soldier serum character.
Yeah.
The Ghost from
Ant-Man.
The villain from Black Widow, the woman that's been reprogrammed.
Yes, Taskmaster.
He's one of them, yeah. And then there's a new character who
the Sentry.
He's apparently Marvel's kind of rival to Superman.
Yeah, the Sentry.
But he again gets all his power through the super soldier serum, I read.
Yeah, he's
like
got
there's some
power.
explosion in the factory, but he just gets a lot more. He gets, he can fly more shit. He's like super powerful.
They brought the Sentry out in the comics for a good background story for him. He's two entities. He's like Marvel. He has the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns, and he's insane. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how they've done this.
It's going to be kind of the Thunderbolts are all up against him, and then he joins them in the end, that sort of thing.
There'll be something, I'm going to
I've seen a lot of stuff on Facebook about the new Fantastic Four. It's just these YouTube things where it's like, oh, they've done it again. Yeah. Oh, no, it's going to... I can't be asked to watch them because you sit through 10 minutes of them wanking on and they never tell you what the show has actually done.
You know why I want to see...
I know a lot of people are getting annoyed that there's a female Silver Surfer. I think people just need to...
Do you know why I want to see that? Because I want to see Galactus. I want to see him walking around. That's it. I want to see it. And it looks all right.
Yeah.
Did you?
Superman's had rewrites. They've had massive rewrites of Superman.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Did you hear that? Because they're making a new Harry Potter TV series that Snape is going to be played by a black actor. Did you hear that?
Yeah. No issues with that. All these people again. I've been on Facebook forums where people are going, "Oh, Snape is a white character in a book. A, who gives a fuck? And B, no, he isn't. The only description of him in the book is greasy hair and a hook nose. That's it. They just any other description.
Is this series? Is this series going to be an entire rewrite of the films?
I assume so.
No, it's going to be an entire. It's going to be an entire run of the books. So the books are enough different to the films that I think the TV series could really work. I'm quite looking forward to it because the films miss so much and change so much from the books. Right. I think this will be better.
Okay, I'll give that a look.
I've never been into Harry Potter, actually. My son was a big Harry Potter.
I don't mind it. I've enjoyed the films.
Harry Potter's brilliant. I mean, if your kids are fans, you must take them to the Warner Brothers studio tour.
Yeah, they've been to the one where they've got the triple-decker bus, wherever it is, somewhere in North London or something. There is something. I didn't go, but they went to
one in Windsor.
Yeah, that's the Windsor, that's it. But yeah, I mean, I mean, the only thing I'm looking forward to this year, like I'm not a Harry Potter fan, I'm looking forward to the new Alien series, which is coming up in summer. I can't wait for that because I did like Romulus a lot. So I know it's not linked to that, but but it's Alien films. They've only got.
I'm intrigued to see how they have the aliens on Earth before. I mean, it's going to have to be a limited thing that it only affects a few people. Whaley and Yutani find out about them, and that's why they send Nostromo off to go and
Yeah.
investigate
When is it
that
set
fucking
then? Do
spaceship.
we know when it's set then?
It's before the original Alien.
Oh, it's before the. So okay.
Yeah.
Because the movie was only a short sequel after the first film. This would be in between the original movie and the Prometheus. The
Storyline will be they'll found an egg, cloned it, done something with it. There'll be a big secret facility on Earth underground, and they get out. And they'll have to stop them from getting out of the facility before they infest the world. And
See, this is it.
everybody will
Timeline
die,
wise,
and
it's
that'll
got
be,
to be
and then file
it's got to be
closed.
between Covenant and Alien.
Yep.
That's what I was
Because
thinking. Yeah.
Covenant is when the xenomorph David creates the
He
xenomorphs
actually
in the
creates
form
them.
that we finally know them as.
Okay. Well, on that
And they'll
note,
be in a facility, they'll nuke it, and then it'll still be like file closed and nobody will know about it.
yeah.
I watched the first couple of episodes of something called Beacon 23, which
Right.
might be interesting. They're all right. Lena Headey, we like her. She's a good actress. But yeah, just a guy out on a lonely space, like basically a space lighthouse that stops people coming here, and a new ship turns up and hijinks ensue. So it looks like, it could be a good series.
Has anybody seen Ark yet? Has anybody seen
The
Ark?
Ark. Yeah, I've seen the first. I think is that. Yeah, I think I've seen the first. I'm sort of about. When did it come
There you
out?
go.
Is it a new show? Or has it been out for a while? 'Cause the one I
Series.
saw.
It's on
out-
season 3 now.
Yeah, I saw the first few episodes, and
Very good.
it was all right. I still haven't seen Silo, the rest of Silo season 2. I've got stuck in about episode 6 or 7 because I'm finding it a bit boring. So I will.
Yeah, there is payoff towards the end.
Yeah, I'm going to finish off Blake 7
worth
first, and then I'm going to watch Silo, finish that off as well. Right, on that note, we've only got a minute or two before we have to reset. So we're going to come back now with the Solo One film review of the week. Here we go.
It's the Solar Sci-Fi Focus of the Week.
Okay, so we are reviewing a film from 1998 which features Bruce Willis. It features meteors, it features destruction, and it features all sorts of wacky ideas. So it's one of those great sort of movies, what if things with a big sort of world disaster comes along. This film does it very well, and that is, of course, Armageddon. This is a film recommended by Malcolm, and it's fair enough. We all choose our things, and it was a good choice, which I gave a watch to over the weekend and enjoyed. I know Martin's seen it, and from what I understand, this is one of Malcolm's real favourites. So let's put it over to Malcolm. What is it about this movie that you really love?
I love this film. This film has to me everything. It's a great action film. It's a popcorn chomper. There's the heroism in it. The feel good side of it. Doing what's best for mankind. There's a great dose of humor in there. I like Bruce Willis's humor in his films. I like the way he does it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
The cast was brilliant, and just to wrap it all up, there's a lovely little love story going on in it, so your missus is not bored of you in the cinema, and you're definitely going to get some later on, kind of thing.
So that's why you like it. Okay, right, okay.
I have a friend in the pub who's also called Martin, bizarrely enough,
No.
and he hates it. Again, he hates it because it's not realistic. And I'm like, you walked into a fucking cinema to see a film about oil miners landing on a fucking asteroid to blow it in half and save the planet, and you're complaining it wasn't fucking realistic. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't know. What did you think it was going to be about when you walked in there? But this is one of my all-time favorite films. I love it. I fucking love the film every time I see it. It's got a lovely teary ending with it when Bruce Willis makes his little conversation to Grace over the thing. I fucking love it. I have goosebumps every time I see it. It's just a great film.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So did you see it? So you went to the cinema when it came out, or did you hear about it?
Funny enough, no. It was at a time when I didn't really do cinemas much when this came out. No, I saw it on VHS. Like quite a lot of my favourite films, I saw it on VHS, bought it on VHS, and continued to watch it until the VHS bloody wore out.
Yeah.
I have a few films that are like that.
That's the strange thing. It was like when you used to go to Blockbuster Video and choose your movies and stuff, and you liked it so much than that you actually buy a copy. I know exactly what you mean. Let's ask you, Martin. What did you think about this movie?
It's a macho wank fest. It's brilliant.
Macho wank
So,
fest.
but I saw this at Leicester Square Odeon,
Yeah.
and my girlfriend at the time, I took her to see it, and she was in tears. She started. She was really welling up in this. So we'd seen Titanic, and when this came out, and I felt that she was holding my hand when the end scene, she was holding my hand. So it's really squeezing it because
Oh,
he does the sacrifice. And I noticed there were other couple like that in the cinema. I think Armageddon, right? Don't take it seriously.
no,
Armageddon,
no.
one of them films you put on and you just have a good time.
Like Independence Day. It's got that sort of vibe to it.
And it's the ultimate macho love wank fest.
Yeah.
It's super. I've got a bad word to say
I
about
think
this.
you're right. I think that's kind of the genius of it. The humour that they put into the film brings you down to earth at the risk of a pun.
Yeah,
And all
the pun, yeah.
You know, one of my favourite scenes is when he's, they got some requests, and he just says, like, I don't suppose you guys are going to tell us who killed Kennedy, and all that. That was just that kind of humour, which is brilliant. And it does, it grounds you, it just reminds you that you're just watching nonsense. You know, it's willing suspension of disbelief at every turn.
I saw Deep Impact.
This is interesting because I wanted to ask you about that. Yes, that's right. And I went to the cinema to see the other one. I didn't see this one until after. And I remember coming out of the cinema and thinking, what a pile of shit that was. Yeah, I just remember it was really, really shite.
So according to the ancient scrolls of legends that may or may not be based on any kind of fact, Michael Bay was apparently at a meeting where the guy was pitching Deep Impact at a lunch and taking notes. And then according to the Deep Impact guy, he then ran off and made this for Disney himself. That's why they went against.
Is that why they were so similar?
According to the ancient documents of myth and legend, you know.
But they were, I mean,
obviously we don't know if there's any truth to that.
But they were released quite close together, weren't they? It was pretty similar. I mean, they weren't direct rivals, but
if you're the original pitch meeting, you've got enough time to write your own script and redo it.
Yeah.
So when I went with her to see Deep Impact, she wasn't holding me hand and crying on that. It was like, when's this finishing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because the difference is when's this finishing. I wanted to get out of that cinema, but Armageddon and the rock band, was it Aerosmith that did the great song?
Yeah.
There were none of that in Deep Impact. Deep Impact it was boring, man. It was boring, but Armageddon, I've seen it so many times. It's you're just in there all the way through. What a cast!
I love the way they had a kind of a damp spot in the film where tensions built up, but no real action is going to happen for a while. So they then took another $3 million and added in a scene where a meteorite comes down and it hits France and literally wipes France off the fucking planet. And they
to keep it going.
Basically, it just added a little bit in, but it also reminded the fucking the audience what a fucking medium-sized asteroid would do. That fucking shockwave that just wipes Paris out.
Just flattens everything.
It's genius done.
I was quite shocked when I saw the Twin Towers at the beginning, which one was hit and of course I was thinking, I'm now thinking why maybe the second one was going to implode because the top of it was on fire and everything else like that. You've seen that in quite a few films where there's the Twin Towers are also involved with some sort of disaster. There was an episode of The Outer Limits of the 90s which had one as well.
I like the scene where it's when the NASA astronauts meet the oil people.
Yeah,
that moment, like the weirdos and the NASA astronauts,
It's got a very good cast. There's a lot of quite well familiar actors in this movie.
Yeah.
I remember the one that wants to I can't remember, it was called what do I hear? My eyesight's deteriorating. I'm trying to see this. But he was also in Con Air. He was the guy that was strapped in, and he was on this character. He was played, is it Rocker Fund or something? I can't remember. I can't read them. It's too small to write it.
Oh, Rockhound.
Rockhound, yeah. That actor, yeah, he was in
Buscemi.
Con Air,
Great
and
stuff.
he's funny. I liked him. I thought he was really he really sort of balanced
he's
it
a
out.
great character.
I just think that I mean a lot of actors from different shows were in this movie. I was trying to see some other ones. The guy that was in The Wedding Crashers was in it.
Owen Wilson. I think it's quite an
Owen
early
Wilson.
film for him as well.
Yeah, and but they all
Yeah.
everybody worked. Every sort of actor in their role, I think they pulled it off. I think it looks good. I mean, it's quite old now. If you're thinking about it, 1998. But it's one of those. Some films they just last long term. They just work. Other films don't. But this, like I said, I can't even remember Deep Impact at all. I just remember it was boring. But I watched both these movies not enough times to remember which one was which. So when Malcolm said, let's do this one, I was thinking, is it that boring one with Denise Crosby's in it? And it wasn't. It's this one. So we're not going to review the other one, are we?
No.
I don't. I can't. All I remember that the other film was I came out of it. I didn't like it and thought it was boring. And you, obviously, Martin's already said that as well. So that's a shame.
You froze in time then.
Oh, sorry, me. Am I right? Am I back?
Froze.
Sorry, am I back?
You're back now.
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah. So it certainly is a good movie. I mean, how do you know if it did well? Is it a successful film? What do you know
I
about
do. So it was made. So it's Touchstone Films, which was a division of Disney. You know, the filmmakers of the 80s. You know, that Touchstone logo is
drawn to
the 80s as anything. So it is the second highest film in the North America of Touchstone's entire output, and their highest grossing film worldwide. It was the highest grossing film of 1998 when it came out.
Oh, wow.
It took just over $500 million at the box office, so it made money back and then some. It was a hugely successful movie, considering it had like pretty dire write-ups to begin with, but it just did its opening day weekends. It had the third highest 4th of July opening of all time.
It's a very summer blockbuster sort of
just
film
behind
movie, isn't
Men
it?
in Black and Independence Day.
Okay. I was going to say. I mean, I think that also the fact is that I think the special effects still stand out quite well. But I like the fact that it was it's something you don't take too seriously. I mean, the idea of a load of miners ending up on a space shuttle, going to an asteroid in space around the back of the moon, landing on it, and trying to drill a hole to put a nuclear bomb. You do have to have a certain suspension of disbelief. But I love it. It's great.
The one thing this film did was perpetuate the myth, and a lot of people believed it, that if an asteroid is going to hit the Earth, that you just send a couple of nukes up. It don't work like that because it breaks it up into other pieces.
And they still come down.
What you have to do in reality, you have to deflect
because
it.
that's what the final failsafe is. Before that line, it was split in two. I'm not entirely sure. You know, gravity of it going either side of the Earth still going to do some damage. But after that, the fragments wouldn't break up enough, and it would be just as deadly. But one thing he does say in the film, he says not even bacteria would survive, and they don't know.
I think I would have thought that.
But they're pretty certain that you would have. There's something called extremophiles, which they think will probably survive just about fucking anything and all that, and they love the fucking no oxygen, fucking high radiation thing. They're like little microbes. Deep sea stuff down at the bottom of the oceans would probably survive.
Isn't it tardigrades? Isn't it tardigrades?
Tardigrades are one, but even other stuff like fucking crocodiles and stuff like that. Anything that can hibernate for a long period of time, extreme temperatures and stuff, would survive probably.
The one in 2032 is going to miss us, and I think it's going to miss the moon now. There's one that's going to meet these very rare.
There are 33,000 global disaster asteroids currently in our orbit. Something like 978 that have the potential estimated to hit us in the next 100 years.
Yeah.
But NASA also thinks they discovered maybe about 40% of what is out there. So this is a very real threat to be.
But if this one in 2032 it's the moon, what they've worked out now is I saw this. Have you seen The Angry Astronaut?
No.
It's very good. He covers a lot of SpaceX and that. He said that if it impacted the moon, it's only the size of a football field, but it's a city killer, basically.
Okay.
It will throw stuff up from the moon. into
Oh, so like
space.
meteors and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Sort of debris and things like that.
Yeah, and it could hit satellites in orbit, you know. So,
If you go back to 2010,
Yeah.
the year we made contact, okay,
Mm.
the end of
Yeah,
that film, this alien monolith race, whatever it is,
Yeah.
they turned Jupiter into a sun,
yeah.
Yes.
and then all the other planets there. Now, unfortunately for that particular script, is Jupiter is what is currently stopping all of those asteroids from hitting
Yeah,
us.
it's a vacuum
Yeah,
cleaner,
it's
isn't it?
between that asteroid belt is between Mars and us, and
Yeah.
Jupiter is what keeps them all away from us. Which is
Definitely.
why when they go on about the physicians go on, or people go on about infinite number of planets and all that, it's still a lot, but it's nowhere near infinite because the planets have to be a certain distance away from the sun. You have to have one of these massive planets in your orbit as well to keep it safe from asteroids, etc., etc., etc. So life on other planets isn't as fucking dead cert as people think.
I didn't know
That's
that.
before we even get into the chemical components and the exact right set of circumstances necessary for that fucking spark of life. I mean, that was a 1 in a billion 1 second fucking event that kicked it off. The chances of it happening twice in the universe are fucking astronomical.
Yeah.
So we may well be alone in the fucking universe.
Do you know the event that freaked them out about asteroids and comets was when one crashed into Jupiter about a decade and a half ago?
Oh, I
Comet
remember
leaving.
that.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do
And
vaguely remember that.
and they went into Jupiter and what the energy released, it terrified them. That was the first time we've sort of seen that, you know.
I mean, we've seen movies like. I mean, I was thinking of Meteor that we saw. I think we actually reviewed that.
Yeah.
Very similar premise, and that one had nuclear bombs, which it was Russian and US nuclear bombs combined to blow it up.
But they got that wrong, didn't they? They got that wrong.
Yeah, in that one it worked, and of course, I don't know. I don't even know what happened in Deep Impact. What happened in that? Do you remember? Because I've not seen it for so long.
I'm not entirely sure I've ever fucking seen it, to be fair.
I've seen
No,
it, but
well,
I saw it.
no.
Actually, I've not seen it for nearly 25 years, so I can't remember. I don't know. I can't remember. I thought Paris got hit in that one as well. But maybe I'm mixing the two. I can't remember.
There's some interesting things for Armageddon. So the original lead that they wanted was Sean Connery. Now, do you think the film would have worked if Sean Connery was the boss?
Yeah, I think
He's a fantastic actor. I don't really see Sean Connery as being able to inject humour like Bruce Willis.
that's
No,
a
he
good
could have
point.
played
That's a good point,
a government person. He could have played.
No, but if he was doing the Bruce Willis,
You know, that he was supposed to play the actual. He was
Oh,
supposed to have
right.
Bruce Willis, right?
No,
And then they decided to
no.
go someone younger.
but
And
Bruce Willis is
before
good
they
with
settled on
comedy.
Ben Affleck, they'd approached Bradley Cooper to be AJ.
Okay,
Right.
that's interesting. As you
It
say,
was,
I think it was very well cast because Bruce Willis has been in. I mean, he was in a film called Blind Date, which I always thought was hilarious.
Yeah,
I love that
in the
film.
80s. That was
I haven't
so
seen that
funny.
since the 80s. But yeah,
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Blind Date, Hudson Hawks. His original thing on Moonlighting, I used to love watching
I've got
Moonlighting.
Moonlighting. I love Moonlighting. I think it's
Yeah, I
really
do.
funny. It's a really quirky
Yeah.
comedy series, but it's just I don't know.
Yeah, they did a lot of groundbreaking episodes, like the black and white
the
noir
black and white
episode,
one.
or
Yeah.
the one, the Shakespeare episode that they did in. I can't remember the actual phrase, but pentanamic, something. It was all rhymes anyway that they did it and all that. It's just so funny, some of the stuff they came out with. But you posted a picture, obviously, of the rather unfortunate asteroid hitting the Twin Towers from this film. Now, the version I watched today is the edited one where that's been removed, because it was removed for TV broadcast.
Really?
Yep, it was removed for TV. It was going to be broadcast in 2002 when the rights came up for it to be on TV, and obviously they just removed that scene completely. It was too fresh. And then another scene that I don't know if it got removed completely, but at the very beginning of the film, you see the space shuttle Atlantis getting hit and destroyed.
Yeah.
So it was due to air for the first time in America immediately about 5 days after Challenger blew up.
Oh,
So it got pulled from the run, and I think they broadcast Aliens instead, and then just pulled it
just
for a couple
because
of
it was
minutes
so raw. Yeah. I'm surprised. I mean, I wonder whether the Blu-ray does have the original Twin Tower footage, or maybe it's just a TV version, as you say. And maybe when it's broadcast, they edited out the actual damaged towers. I don't know. I mean, my copy is a Blu-ray, so it was fine. But sometimes when it comes to broadcasting, they do sort of trim stuff out if they feel it's sensitive kind of thing. So that's interesting. Well, I think that's pretty much. Anything else you two want to say about the movie? I mean, obviously we'll give the rating in a minute. One thing, Charlton Heston did the narration at the beginning, and I thought that was nice. I recognised his voice, and he was quite old by this point, but I thought to myself, I'm sure that's Charlton Heston, and I watched the end credits and it was him. So I just thought, I've always liked Charlton Heston movies, so I thought that was a nice kind of addition to the movie. Anything else, Malcolm? Because you know the most about this movie compared to, well, at least me. Anything else you want to share with us before we wrap up?
I would have to say that a very, very big key, because no film is perfect, a very key plot in this film is the suspense around they're going to remote detonate this fucking nuke. And then they go on, boom, chop the wire. Brilliant suspense. Everybody's happy. Oh, edge of your seat. But all I can remember thinking about when I first saw it is there were 2 nukes on that fucking moon. The other one is on the other ship. To the best of their knowledge, it's still there. So that fail-safe device, when this one didn't work, why didn't they just detonate the other one? Because it'll either detonate or it won't. You might as well fucking try it. And secondly, I'm fairly certain that briefcase key button is going to detonate both of them anyway. If you're going to blow one, you might as well blow them fucking both. So that whole fact that they ignored the second, it's a very, very.
Malcolm, you've just destroyed that film probably for millions.
I tell you, it's dropped. It's dropped down 3 numbers already from my end rating of it now. It was, it's got numbers. I mean, you could always say, oh well, maybe they didn't have the time before they crossed the line, and then it would have been that even if they nuked it, the rocks split in 2 would still hit the. There's always an excuse you can make for this. I didn't think about that when watching it, but of course, in the movie they think that they've all the people in the first shuttle have been wiped out, and some of them did survive. So I don't know. I just think it was a good fun movie. Obvious question. I think I know how you're going to both answer this. Would you have this in your Blu-ray or DVD collection, Martin?
Yes.
And
yes,
I would too.
I've had that for years.
And I think this might be a high number for the actual rating out of 10. So go on, Malcolm. What are you going to give it out of 10?
I was going to go 10, but I'm going to go 9.8, purely because the fact that the president didn't think to detonate the second nuclear thing when the first one didn't detonate, or that they weren't both due to detonate together. I think that's too big a fucking plot hole to you can't sit there and ignore that. You can't have that devastating a fucking hole. They should have put in a reason why the second nuke didn't go off either. Like it got like maybe the shuttle got blasted off into fucking space and the nuke's busy, and then you could have seen it off in the fucking distance or something. They could have easily done that.
Do you know, I would say this as a romantic film. You've leveled that for me now. Because of that, what you've told me, I never even thought about the second.
I'm sorry, but my rating's ruined now. I'm only going to give this a 4.3. I mean, it was going
to be. This was a romancing.
It's a mix of different genres. It's got the romance, it's got the comedy, it's got the science fiction, it's got the blockbuster film
with the fucking cracker, where he's there and he goes, "You must make the decision to go north or south." And all that. It's literally one of the most erotic scenes I've ever seen in a film. It is just so beautifully done. There's no fucking nudity, no crudeness in it. It's just magic the way that's done. I imagine half the fucking couples that went to see that film went home and did that little fucking. I need to play some crackers. Fucking this and that. I reckon everyone was reenacting that.
Reenacting it. Yeah, you might have done. So shall I give the rating first for me, or do you want to go first, Martin?
Well, because it's a macho wank love fest movie and it's positive and Malcolm nearly leveled it with that point, and now I'm not going to watch this again because of that.
No, it's ruined for me.
It's going to be there. I'll be like, yeah, Malcolm's right. Well, I'll be enjoying the film and having a great, and then I'm going to go, no, but there's the second nuke, and I've thought about that. So I'm gonna be general. I'm gonna give it 10 out of 10. I as long as I don't watch it again.
I'm going to have to give it 8.5 because this plot hole is completely. No, I think 8.5. I do like it a lot. I don't think I like it quite as much as you two. But I think for some reason, and this isn't really the film's fault, the reason why it hasn't stuck in my mind as well as it should have done is that it's tainted through no fault of its own with Deep Impact. But I did enjoy it. I actually want to see it again now that I've just seen it. Also, now that I've talked to you both. So I think it will go up to 9, but I'm going to put it as 8.5 because I actually need to see it again. Because a lot happens in this movie. And it's one of those films that it's easier to sort of pick up things. I don't, the plot hole with the nuclear bomb, fair enough. I couldn't give a shit about that. I mean, who cares? It's just a bit of fun. But I'm going to give it 8.5. I did like it a lot. I think it's a very good recommendation.
For me, it was a good time in my life, and I've got good memories. That's why it deserves a 10.
It is. It's a full-on popcorn jumper. You know, you just every 2 minutes and all that. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant. It's a feel-good movie.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about in the end. I mean, you want to sort of have something where it makes you feel good. You come out of it, you get a real adrenaline rush, and it's memorable, and it still holds up well. It still looks good. I mean, I always feel sorry for Bruce Willis because I know that he's not in very good health these days, which is always sad to hear. But God, he made some great movies back in the day, didn't he? And I think
he's arguably one of my top 5 favorite actors. He might even be my favorite actor. He does everything. He can do the action stuff. He can do comedy. He can do sensitive stuff. He can do everything. There's nothing that isn't in that guy's range, and he doesn't nail everything he does. He's brilliant. His bank of films is phenomenal, like the range of what he does. I think he's brilliant. I thought he's fantastic. Since to tell you the truth, since I first saw him in an episode of Miami Vice,
and the first episode I ever saw him in was the very first episode of the '80s Twilight Zone.
Yes.
Okay.
And it was a very, very good episode where he meets himself. And have you ever seen it, Malcolm? It's a very good episode.
No, I'll look it up.
It's episode 1 of the '80s Twilight Zone, and he's really, really good. I think it was his breakout role. It's only a 20-minute thing, but even then you could tell he was going places, and I think that was how he got into moonlighting, if I remember correctly. But I'm glad you both liked it. Very good recommendation. So, what are we going to be talking about in the next couple of weeks when we come back? I'm not sure what we're going to do.
2 films. I don't know. Have we done Near Dark?
Near Dark? No. What's that one?
Have you not seen Near Dark?
I've not even heard of it.
I've heard of it, but I never seen it.
It's an amazing vampire film with half the cast of Aliens in it.
All right. Okay.
Bill Paxton, Lance Henriksen, her that plays the Colonial Marine.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'll need to look it up. I haven't seen it.
I dare I say it, Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes.
That scares.
Yeah, or Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes.
Oh, I wasn't that mad on that.
I think it's one of those films because all the people there. There's only 4 women in it. You get Sigourney Weaver and Vasquez, and then they throw one other woman in to make the numbers up, whose name I think is Pharaoh or something, who's on the drop ship. She's the one with the silver glasses who
I know what we actually. I don't know about the Tim Burton one, Martin, but I tell you what we could review. We could review the '70s Planet of the Apes TV series. We've never done that.
I thought we'd done that.
No, we've done the first 2 movies, and we've done one of the new ones. We've never done the TV. I don't think so. Let me look at my list. I'm pretty sure we haven't done it. Let me look at my list for a second.
I do recommend Near Dark. It's an amazing film, honestly.
I've never heard of it.
It's a vampire movie. It's not like Crosses. It's very good. It's one
Have you ever seen Silent Hill?
No, isn't that based on a computer game?
Yeah.
So we reviewed episode 47, Planet of the Apes, episode 165, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, episode 124, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, episode 194, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So we've done 4 Planet of the Apes. We've never done the TV series. So how about you, Malcolm? Have you seen the TV series, Malcolm?
I've not seen it since I was a wee nippersnapper. Apart from the odd episode I've watched on reruns like Bravo, and I think I watched a couple of episodes that I acquired recently.
Okay.
The only episode I really, really, really remember from it is, and I might be thinking of two different episodes here. There's one where they're with a family of apes and they have to do a blood transfusion. And I've always wanted to know, and I've never been able to find out, what the simple test that he does is to find out what blood group they are and whether they match. I'd love to know how to do that.
Yeah.
And
okay.
at the end of it, although the apes hate them, but because they've saved the thing, at the end of it, they come like, oh, we've seen humans with white skin, and the young ape is like basically, oh, I have to do myself up with flour and pretend to be a human.
Oh yeah,
I remember.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't really remember much more of it than that.
So
And obviously, Roddy McDowell.
Yeah, Roddy McDowell's obviously in it. So do you? How about you, Martin? Do you want to do that next time, or
I'm up for that. I'll send you the No Doubt trailer.
Yeah, all right. I mean, we could put that on the list.
It's Lancet, Bill Paxton, and Eric plays Vasquez. It's an amazing film.
Other things I'd like to check out at some point is I think Malcolm needs to see some. I'd love to do some Black Mirror review episode because I think that's one of the best ones. And again, it's very standalone, so you can not watch the whole series. You could just delve into the old one and see.
We could cover McAllister with that as well.
I wasn't a massive fan of the first episode where the Prime Minister has to.
I think the first episode's quite weak. The original episode.
The second one that has the singing contest with her from Downton Abbey, I thought was brilliant. And then the third, because there's only 3 episodes in season 1, I think.
Yeah, some seasons are very short.
The guy's wife's cheating on. Is it Jodie Whittaker?
Jodie Whittaker's in it. Yeah. Yes.
And he has the dial that you can call it back, and he has the bottle to the guy's eye. To, you fucking erase it forever. Or I'm gonna rip your eye.
The one I like.
A brilliant series.
The one I like is where you go to prison. You're in there for thousands of years, but only a few minutes has passed outside.
Okay.
They did that with the Outer
They've done that quite a lot.
Atlantis
has done that. Deep Space Nine has done a similar thing.
True.
They have done that. So,
they did it in a very clever way.
To be fair, I think Deep Space Nine did the Miles O'Brien thing. I
love that episode.
I
absolutely love that episode.
To the point where it's continual torment because he thinks he's killed his fucking mate over food.
Yeah, the girl.
Yeah. So even though he's out and about, it's still fucking hitting him.
Yeah.
I thought that was amazing.
I thought that was actually one of my favourite episodes of Deep Space Nine because I've always thought Colin Meaney was such a great actor and he really, really pulled it off. It was so good. This tortured character. I love that episode.
Before we go, have you heard about that Johnny Vegas film come out? Time Travel is Terrible or something. It's been.
Oh yeah, I
just
have
wonder
heard
if
something
anybody
about
knows that about it.
Yeah, what's it called though? I'd like to.
I think it's called Time Travel is Terrible or something.
Yeah, maybe we can.
It's a comedy. I don't know much. I've seen the trailer, but
I don't mind Johnny Vegas.
I was never a fan of Johnny Vegas until I come home from the pub one night and flicked on the TV. And there was some weird film on called Sex Lives of the Potato Men, which is absolutely hilarious.
I love that film.
I've got 2 copies of it for reasons I won't go into, and all that. And I've watched it like hundreds of times. I think it's just fucking genius. It's
Sex Lives of Potato Men. I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
You need to watch
it. You have to watch it.
It's totally.
It's one of the funniest things I've ever done.
Okay,
I love that.
Recommend that.
I turned it on when I got to know when I turned it on. Literally, the scene where his missus has just dumped him and he's gone to that old girlfriend's house. And the bloke has answered the door and he's going on about like, oh, she always said she'd be up for a threesome, and I'm single now, so you're not her husband, are you? And all that kind of stuff. And it's just fucking. So just let her know. 2 thumbs up on the threesome.
You know what's one of the funny? Do you know what's one of the funniest scenes when all the men are in room and they're all at it with her? And they're all stood there waiting for the girl. And one of them's going, I parked my car down low. Do you think I'll get a ticket?
Yeah, I got your own.
like common conversation, and this is going on in front of them,
No,
it's worth a look. You need to watch
I can tell you
it.
hundreds of scenes, Michael, but you've got to watch it because there are scenes that just, if you know what's coming, you won't. If you don't know what's coming, you will literally roar with laughter when you see it.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just so we can't really tell you too much.
Okay.
It's on my channel. I uploaded it. I've got it on my channel now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All
right, guys. Sounds good. Yeah. I mean, I'm always up. I love a bit of comedy. And
to tell you the truth, I think one of the other guys is the Doctor
Kenzie from The Office. Kenzie Crook.
Yeah, but you've got the Doctor Who bloke as well, isn't it? What's his name? Gatiss, Mark Gatiss.
Yeah.
Was he in it? Oh wow.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when was this made? Is it quite recent then, or when was it made?
No,
No.
God, no. No,
While ago,
90
wasn't it,
sometime.
Malcolm?
Oh, yeah. So it would be funny then because like I
It
said,
got a lot of bad press when it come out because of
Yeah,
what
not
things had
surprisingly.
real, but it's got a cult following now because it's some people find it absolutely
Yeah.
disgusting. They can't watch it,
Yeah.
but I've got female friends that have seen it and they absolutely love it.
mm,
So, but you be prepared for what you're gonna see. You
okay.
might think this is disgusting. Yeah,
I'll give it a go. I'll
but
give it a go.
it's
Yeah, yeah.
funny.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds
but
good.
yeah, I mean, I don't know how broad your wife's humor goes, but you might have to be careful.
Yeah. Certain things
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
It might
She
say
will
I need
know
to watch
very
it
early on in
alone.
the film, and she wants to go and make tea and sit and read a book. And you're
I
like,
wouldn't recommend it to somebody who's like quite tame on the comedy. This thing.
Might be something to watch on your own, kind of thing. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I
Well,
don't
it
know.
can be. Well,
Actually, it's a fucking
yeah. It's a
it's a
weird
carry on
book.
film on speed.
It's a what?
It's a carry on film on
Oh,
speed.
carry on. Okay.
Yeah. Sex Lives. Give it a go. It's worth it. It's not everybody's taste, and just be prepared for that.
All right. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. So listen, are we going to do the AI reviewing this episode again, or are we done with that? Do you guys want the end of
Why
it?
not? Why not? No, I'm quite intrigued to
No,
listen
what
to
we're
them. I
doing?
think they are quite-
Yeah, well, at the end of each episode, we get the AI to review the episode that we just done.
Yeah. Go on then. Yeah.
We'll do it again this week because it's quite. I just find it quite interesting to be reviewed by AI, literally after you've just finished the episode, and it's it does sometimes say things that Malcolm said when I've said it, and vice versa.
Yeah.
It does sometimes get a bit mixed up, but I just find it quite interesting. So for the moment, we're going to have it on again today, and then in 2 weeks' time. So in 2 weeks, are we doing Planet of the Apes or are we going to do Black Mirror? You two decide.
Planet of the
Like
Apes.
it's Planet of the Apes, to be fair.
Yeah,
And
right,
then
let's
you
go
two
for it.
can catch up on. Then after that, do Black Mirror.
Yeah, all right. I'll do. Okay, I'll
It
do the
gives you
graphics.
time to catch up. Then.
Brilliant, guys.
And then what is that other one you said? That vampire film?
Honestly, it's very good. You're gonna love it.
If you remind us when we get a bit closer, we'll have a watch of it.
It's not crosses, and it's about the back roads of America, and they've sort of tried to make the vampires realistic,
Okay.
like
I like
the
vampire
hunt
films.
on the roads. And I don't want to spoil it for you. It's very good. It's just the casting is like them actors, and Lance Henriksen is superb in it.
Okay.
I mean,
Sounds good.
we could almost do an entire kind of double show on vampires and just cover every fucking film and TV series made. Like, who does it best? Which mythologies, which
Do
vampires
you
are
know
the best?
what? That might be a better idea because obviously there's some things that you're into that I'm not watched. So but I can chime in with certain things, and we could just talk about the vampire genre and the best and the worst of the TV shows and movies which have been made. That might be a good idea, actually, Malcolm. And that might be a better way of doing it. So yeah, okay. Well, look, we'll do the Planet of the Apes TV series next time, and then probably Black Mirror, and then we'll see where we go. So thank you very much, guys. We'll leave you with the AR review of ourselves, which is a bit weird but very compelling to watch. And we'll see you next time on the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast. Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.
Welcome to the deep dive. We take the sources you give us and really get into the core insights.
Exactly. And since you're here, this whole exploration is, well, tailored just for you.
Today, you've given us a really interesting mission, actually. We're going to unpack the buzz around some recent science fiction stuff.
Yeah, looking at new TV, a bit of a classic film too, all based on that audio recording you sent over.
So specifically, we'll be digging into reactions to the new Doctor Who season, thoughts on Black Mirror Season 7's first episode.
Right, and some general sci-fi news too. Trailers for Tron, Heirs, the live-action Lilo and Stitch.
And the Toxic Avenger. Plus, we'll revisit, the big one from '98, Armageddon.
Okay, quite a mix. Let's jump in. Where do we start?
Well, the Doctor Who reactions seemed pretty immediate and strong in your source audio.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly. It sounds like the speakers had some, well, significant issues right from the first episode of Season 15.
They definitely didn't hold back. A big thing seemed to be the doctor crying, apparently, like really early on.
Around 17 minutes and 36 seconds, they said. And they felt it was excessive, maybe insincere.
Yeah, compared to how past doctors handled losing people, like Adric or Sarah Jane. Someone even quoted, "He didn't waste a tear on you, Malcolm," which is quite pointed.
It's a big contrast, isn't it?
Yeah.
We sort of expected a certain stoicism, maybe, so that reaction can feel jarring if it doesn't feel earned, I suppose.
And it wasn't just the tears, was it? The new companion, Belinda.
Right, they weren't sold on her, apparently. Though, they did say it's still early days.
True, but the episode itself was described as just flat and boring, like lacking any real sense of danger or excitement.
And they picked up on things feeling repetitive, too.
Oh, yeah. Emoji-faced robots, which we've seen before. The companion working in a hospital.
Ah, the Martha Jones parallel.
Exactly. And then being unable to get home, like Tegan, it just sounded like a lot of familiar beats.
Which can be tricky, can't it? That line between a nostalgic nod and just, running out of fresh ideas. It sounds like they felt it was more the latter.
And then the villain apparently looked like a Borg.
Which, for sci-fi fans, immediately brings Star Trek to mind, doesn't it? That's another potential originality issue they flagged.
Plus, there was a plot point about two star charts touching and canceling each other out.
Yeah, and they compared that to the Peter Davison era, Modern Undead, with the two brigadiers.
Right, where touching didn't cause this massive undoing. It felt, I guess, inconsistent with the show's own internal logic, like a convenient magic fix.
That level of detail shows how invested these fans are. When the rules seem to change without explanation, it really pulls you out of it, even in sci-fi.
And this wasn't just opinion. They mentioned the UK overnight ratings, just 2 million.
Which they said was the lowest ever for a premiere. And they were pretty skeptical about the usual excuses like, oh, people watch differently now.
Yeah, you can understand that skepticism. A big drop for a premiere usually points to something more than just viewing habits, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The first episode needs to hook people. If it feels weak, it doesn't bode well.
They felt it lacked that event feel, more like a random mid-season episode.
And the companion's reaction early on, being called toxic.
Yeah, for being upset about being, ripped from her life and having her DNA scanned, which seems understandable.
It's an interesting take. Usually companions are just sort of swept along, aren't they?
Yeah.
Maybe more resistant reaction feels different. Maybe even uncomfortable for some viewers expecting the usual trope.
Then there was the usual speculation, of course. A mysterious character, maybe the Ronnie.
That's always a popular guess.
Yeah.
And they talked about Russell T Davies having plans for, seasons 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, but also those rumors about Disney maybe backing off a bit. It sounds like there's a lot of uncertainty floating around.
Definitely. And talk about maybe filming a regeneration scene but not showing it. Plus, Judy Gatwa's stage show schedule.
Yeah.
It all feeds into the fan discussion, doesn't it?
So predictions for the next episode's ratings were kind of mixed. Some thought lower, some maybe a slight bump.
But the underlying feeling was a desire for just good stories, less of what they called woke.
And frustration that villains from last season weren't used, but still a little hope it might get better.
Though the ratings they gave were pretty rough. 4s out of 10 across the board.
Yeah, one was a reluctant 4, saying it wasn't quite as bad as last season, but still pretty damning.
Were there any positives mentioned?
A couple, actually. They liked that the companion was pissed off initially, not just immediately starstruck.
Okay, a different dynamic.
And that her family wasn't involved straight away. But on the flip side, they found her breaking the fourth wall kind of irritating.
That could be divisive.
But maybe the big hook, the thing keeping them watching, is that mystery. The Statue of Liberty and Eiffel Tower just floating out in space.
Right, that's a strong visual. A big, season-long puzzle could definitely keep people engaged, even if they dislike individual episodes. It promises some kind of payoff.
Okay, let's switch gears. Black Mirror, Season 7, Episode 1. Much more positive reaction here.
Oh, really? Good. Starring Chris O'Dowd, right?
Yep. And the concept was called Very Clever. It involves a wife with brain damage.
And a digital way to keep a version of her going using Wi-Fi. That sounds very Black Mirror.
Totally. They really praised the writing quality, actually. Even wish Doctor Who had writing like that.
Ouch. But yeah, Black Mirror often hits that sweet spot of a high concept idea executed really well.
They mentioned other episodes they liked too. One about a singing contest, another with memory playback and infidelity.
Yeah, those are classics. 15 Million Merits and The Entire History of You, probably.
Sounds right. They did mention disliking an early one with the Prime Minister.
The National Anthem. Yeah, that one's memorable for other reasons.
And another praised one about long prison sentences lived out quickly. They compared it to Deep Space Nine.
Oh, interesting parallel. Like those DS9 episodes dealing with compressed time or altered perception. Shows Black Mirror taps into some deep sci-fi themes.
Okay, moving on to general news and trailers. Tron, ours got some enthusiasm.
Yeah, the modern setting sounds intriguing, and Nine Inch Nails doing the music. That would be huge.
Definitely fits the Tron vibe. And surprisingly, positive reaction to the live-action Lilo and Stitch trailer.
Oh, that's good to hear, especially after the lukewarm reception to some other Disney live-action things. Maybe this one captures the spirit.
Seems like it, yeah. Then, the new Toxic Avenger trailer with Peter Dinklage.
That's a interesting casting. Dinklage is fantastic, so it could be a really unique take on, well, trauma-style craziness.
Definitely raises an eyebrow in a good way. Then, quick mentions. Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, though, with some skepticism about YouTube reactions.
Always take those with a grain of salt.
And rewrites for the new Superman movie. Superhero stuff is still front and center, it seems.
Oh, absolutely. It dominates the landscape.
One bit of casting news that got discussed was for the Harry Potter TV series, a black actor potentially playing Snape.
And how was the reaction in the source audio?
Seemed generally positive, actually. They made the point that Snape's race isn't specified in the book, so.
Right. As long as the performance captures the essence of the character, adaptations can often benefit from broadening representation like that.
There was also excitement for a new Alien series, set before the first movie.
Yeah, apparently maybe involving a secret facility on Earth. That could be intense. A different feel from the usual deep space isolation.
Could be very claustrophobic. Brief mentions, too, of Beacon 23 and Ark, some TV shows, and someone stalled on Silo Season 2.
Happens to us all.
Yeah.
And then enthusiasm for a potential Johnny Vegas time travel comedy.
Yes. Possibly called Time Travel is Terrible. And a strong recommendation for another Vegas film, Sex Lives of the Potato Men.
Okay. Described as surprisingly hilarious. Might have to check that one out, despite the title.
Sounds like it might be worth it. They definitely have broad tastes.
Clearly.
Yeah.
It shows how much sci-fi is out there.
Yeah.
From the huge blockbusters to niche comedy.
All right, let's rewind now to 1998. Armageddon, the big one.
Ah, yes. Peak Michael Bay, right?
Totally described that way. A popcorn chomper, heroic, funny, especially Bruce Willis, great cast, love story. All the blockbuster ingredients.
It really is the definition of a late 90s action spectacle, isn't it? Emotion and explosions first, science maybe second or third.
Well, someone mentioned a friend criticizing the realism, oil drillers landing on an asteroid.
The classic critique.
But the speaker basically dismissed it, saying, look, it's a movie about oil drillers blowing up an asteroid. You just got to go with it, right?
Exactly. Willing suspension of disbelief is absolutely required. And for many, the thrill ride and the emotional beats totally work.
They shared personal enjoyment, strong connection, especially the ending. A VHS favorite, apparently.
I bet. It's that kind of movie. Big rewatchable.
And a memory of seeing it in the cinema with a girlfriend who got really invested emotionally. It got compared to Independence Day, too, for that fun, over-the-top vibe. Someone called it the ultimate macho love wank fest, which is a description.
Huh. Well, it certainly aims for those big, broad emotions. And the humor helps, doesn't it? Like Willis asking about who killed Kennedy.
Yeah, it keeps it from getting too self-serious amidst the global catastrophe. It knows what it is.
Definitely. And it came out at the same time as Deep Impact, right?
Yeah. And the speakers definitely preferred Armageddon. By far.
They felt it was superior.
Oh, yeah. They even mentioned that rumor, maybe not true, about Michael Bay sort of borrowing the idea from a Deep Impact pitch meeting.
Ah, the old Hollywood legend. Who knows? But they were definitely similar premises hitting at the same time.
And Armageddon had the Aerosmith song, didn't it? That was a big difference.
I don't want to miss a thing. You couldn't escape that song in '98. Deep Impact didn't have that.
Some interesting production details came up, too. Apparently, that scene where a meteorite hits France was added later.
Oh, really? To up the stakes?
Seems like it. And the original opening had the Twin Towers, which was later removed after 9/11.
Understandably.
Also, the initial cut showing the shuttle Atlantis destroyed was pulled from broadcasts for a while because it was too close to the Challenger disaster.
Wow. Yeah, real-world events really do impact how we see these things, don't they?
They appreciated Charlton Heston's opening narration, gave it some weight.
He had that voice, didn't he?
But then, the plot hole.
Oh. Which one? There might be a few.
The big one, apparently.
Yeah.
Second nuclear bomb on the other shuttle
Yeah.
that they just never use.
Ah, yes. That is a bit of a narrative convenience, isn't it? If you stop and think about it.
It seemed to really diminish the film for one of the speakers once they realized it. Kind of undermines the whole sacrifice element.
It absolutely does. Once you see it, it's hard to unsee. It makes the ending feel slightly manufactured, perhaps.
But, the defense was still, it's a fun movie. Overlook the holes.
Which is fair enough for pure escapism. And audiences clearly agreed. The box office was huge, right?
Massive. Highest grossing film of 1998 worldwide, over $500 million. Touchstone's biggest hit globally. Even opened strong despite mixed reviews.
See, sometimes fun just wins. Critics might pan it, but people want the ride.
The conversation then took a turn into, actual science.
Oh, debunking the movie's premise.
Pretty much. Saying nukes wouldn't work like that. They just fragment the asteroid, maybe make things worse.
Which is the scientific consensus, yeah. Fragmentation is a big problem.
They mentioned asteroid 2032, maybe hitting the moon info from the angry astronaut, and Jupiter's role protecting Earth.
Jupiter as our cosmic vacuum cleaner, unlike in the movie 2010, where it becomes a second sun.
Right. And a quick mention of how rare life might be, the specific conditions needed, and the Shoemaker-Levy 9 impact on Jupiter back in the 90s.
That event really did raise awareness about asteroid threats, didn't it? It's funny how Armageddon, despite its inaccuracies, can spark those real science discussions.
Definitely. Oh, and some casting trivia came up. Sean Connery was considered for the Bruce Willis role.
Connery. Can you picture him doing the comedy bits? Maybe not quite the same fit.
Maybe not. And Bradley Cooper was apparently approached for AJ, the Ben Affleck role.
Wow, early Cooper. Interesting what if. And they praise Bruce Willis's career overall.
Yeah, very versatile. So final ratings for Armageddon.
How did it land after all that? Plot hole included.
A 10 out of 10, but acknowledging the flaw. A 9.8, specifically docking points for the plot hole. And an 8.5, still very enjoyable, maybe even a 9 on rewatch.
So still very high. It seems the fun factor and nostalgia really carried it through, despite the logical hiccups. It's got that feel-good ending.
Absolutely. So that wraps up our journey through this audio source. Quite a range, wasn't it? From the troubled start for Doctor Who,
to the cleverness of Black Mirror, the upcoming sci-fi hype, and then that deep dive, warts and all, into Armageddon.
It really shows how much is going on in science fiction and how different things resonate, well, differently.
Definitely. A single recording opened up a whole universe of discussion.
Which brings us to a final thought for you, the listener. Thinking about Armageddon, its plot hole, but also its success, and the real science. What do you think is the most vital thing for a sci-fi film? To keep us hooked, to make us believe, even just for 2 hours?
Is it the accuracy? Is it the characters we connect with? Or is it just about the thrill, the spectacle, the sheer fun of it all? Something to think about.
Maybe go back and watch some of these. See Armageddon again? Can you ignore that second bomb? Or maybe risk Sex Lives of the Potato Men?
Up to you. But thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Turn it